Let me quickly talk to you about the $10 million LendingTree business loan. This is just a fantastic loan, and I want to really dig a little deeper here. So I want you to stick around till the end of today's conversation. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to talk to you about the $10 million LendingTree business loan. And I'm going to really break it down for you so you really understand. The first thing is I want you to understand what LendingTree is. So LendingTree is not really a direct lender. They are an online platform that connects individuals and businesses to a wide constellation of financial products through its lending partners. So basically, LendingTree they have lending partners, lenders, okay? And when you have a business loan application through them, you have a single loan application, and that loan application gets dispatched to their network of lenders, okay? What are the pros and cons here? So borrower qualifications are lower than with banks. Financing is available to qualified startups. This is really good. You have no upfront fees. You have less focus on personal credit, multiple types of available financing. Applicants can get quickly pre-qualified, right? So you have a soft pull, not a hard pull. The application process is fast and easy, okay? And as I said before, you only have one application, which is really, really good. Think about that, because you're saving a lot of time, okay? Now, the cons, some additional fees are charged. Website advertising is not really clear. Customer service can be pushy at times. You have potentially slow turnaround. And in some cases, you have residual offers. Okay, so even after you have chosen a lender, you may continue to get calls and email from other lenders vying for your business. One thing for sure is that LendingTree is highly rated. Okay, as of the date of this show, if you go on on Trustpilot, you would see that they received 4.6 out of 5, which is really good, excellent rating from more than 11,000 reviewers, okay? So this is really good. And ourselves, after evaluating this lender on tens of criteria, including loan variety, loan amount generosity, cost, reputation, customer service, and whatnot, we assigned LendingTree a score of 9.5 over 10. So overall, they are really great. This is a platform that's very easy to use. Their customer service is okay, but we love the rates that they have. They have decent rates. Okay, this is really, really good. So the second thing is I want you to get ready. So first thing is understand. So I explained to you what LendingTree is. Now we want to really get ready. So what do small business lenders look for? So when you think about LendingTree, you have to think about a network of lenders, right? I said this before. So you want to get your ass ready. So lenders look for a couple of things: time in business. So basically, if you have been around for at least 2 years, this is really good. But in some cases, even a startup can qualify, not a problem. So business lenders pay attention to time in business. It's really important. They pay attention to credit score. So your credit score is a criterion lenders use to determine your reliability as a borrower, especially if you want to apply for a loan without EIN. Okay, and the thing is, if you do this the proper way, you can apply for a loan through LendingTree with EIN only. It is totally possible. We have done it for clients, and we continue to do it for clients. Okay, and so basically, even if you have a credit score as low as 325, 425, you may still get a loan through LendingTree's partners, okay? Business lenders also pay attention to your cash flow. Really important. This is why, and I will talk about that later on, it's important to have in your financial statements to have your cash flow statements. And if you are new, it's important to have your cash flow projections. So lenders have a clear idea of your cash flows from operating activities, cash flows from investing activities, and cash flows from financing activities. This is the trifecta they pay attention to when analyzing your cash flow statements. Business lenders also pay attention to your collateral, okay? So when you think about collateral is basically an asset that lenders can legally seize if you can't make payments, including company buildings, equipment, and accounts receivable, okay? And some business owners choose to use their personal assets, including their homes, as collateral on a business loan, something I will never recommend that you do. You want to really divorce your personal affairs from your business's affairs, definitely. And business lenders also pay attention to your debt to equity ratio, okay? So they really want to see the proportion of your company's debt divided by shareholders' equity. This is really important. And business lenders also pay attention to your working capital, okay? So this is the available money you have to fund your company's day-to-day operations, okay? And you could calculate it very easily. You can calculate your working capital by subtracting the business's debt liabilities, okay? Though the liabilities that are due within 1 year, you actually take that away from your accounts receivable, your current assets, okay? Step number 3, I want you to be eligible. What is that? Well, boss, the thing is, if you want to get a business loan from LendingTree, there are a few things you got to do, right? First of all, I want you to pay attention to the reports, to the accounting reports that business lenders will pay attention to. So you want to really focus on the same reports they focus on. First thing, your P&L, also called statement of income statements, a statement of income, okay? This is where you actually talk about your revenue, right? Your expenses, pretty straightforward, nothing complicated here. Now, if you have a complicated business operation, then you might want to use accounting software or rely on an accountant or a CPA, a local CPA. And you being eligible means that you have to have a cash flow statement. I already talked about that. You got to think about your balance sheet also, very important. So this is where you actually list your assets and liabilities. If you have the right accounting software or you have the right in-house accountant, this is taken care of. Okay, you don't have to do it yourself if you have no knack for financial reporting or accounting. Think about business plan also. So lenders want to see a business plan so they have a clear idea of your operation, an idea of where you've been, where you are, and where you're going in the future, your vision, that kind of stuff, right? So we really need to pay attention to that. There is no set format for balance sheets, as the information reported varies by industry. However, you just want to be clear about what really matters in terms of the info you put in the business plan. You also got to think about business and personal taxes, okay? This is important because lenders want to make sure that you are complying with the relevant laws. And not only at the federal level, but also at the state, city, and county levels. This is really important. So when we talk about small business loan application checklist from LendingTree, basically they want you to have 2 to 3 years of personal and business tax returns, recent profit and loss statements, past bank statements, recent balance sheet, legal filings related to ownership, information on existing debts, okay? Business licenses, if applicable, this is really important, and business plan. So when I talk about legal filings related to ownership, sometimes they want you need a registered agent, for instance, if you're an LLC or you're a C Corp or S Corp. So you got to really file certain things periodically to make sure that your company is in good standing. And lenders might want to see that also. Step number 4, boss. Are you with me? I want you to borrow. I want you to apply and borrow. So when we talk about LendingTree, basically you have different types of loans. So you got to be really clear about the kind of loan that you need, boss. Okay? I don't want you to be confused because LendingTree is a platform that has gazillions of loans. And the last thing you want is to just sit around and say, you know what, this is just too much, too many choices. I don't know where to start. I'm going to break it down for you. When we talk about LendingTree, we have give or take 5 main types of loans. Okay, you have short-term loans, short-term business loans. You have business lines of credit. You have equipment financing. You have SBA loans, and you have invoice factoring. Those are, give or take, the 5 main loans that you will see on LendingTree. So you really want to think about, so for instance, when I talk about short-term business loans, those loans grant the borrower a lump sum, which is then repaid daily or weekly, along with a flat fee over the course of a year or less. And you also can have long-term business loans, where we are talking about a maturity that goes beyond 1 year. Okay, it's all about what the lender has agreed to you, has agreed on with you. Okay, and you have so business lines of credit establish a line of credit for a designated amount of time. They kind of work like a credit card, business credit cards. The only thing is you can actually tap into the line and use the money. Something you don't want to do with a credit card, a business credit card, unless you're willing to pay 25% on APR or 30% on APRs. Okay. And equipment financing includes loans and leases for the use of acquiring physical assets. Okay. So in most cases, the asset then serves as collateral. Now you might also try SBA loans, because the Small Business Administration guarantees SBA loans for up to 80% of the amount borrowed. Okay, so this allows, really, when you think about it, it allows borrowers to access better rates and longer terms. And the application process is more involved, however. So this is something you need to be really clear about from the get-go. And you can also think about invoice factoring that you can get through a LendingTree. So, okay, this is basically an advance that allows you to sell your unpaid invoices to a factoring company for a fee. So this is really, really good. So here you have it. Here is the loan typology you can expect to see on LendingTree. Step number 5. Boss, are you with me? I want you to think about how you're going to spend the money. So, and you need to think about that before even applying. This might sound counterintuitive, but it's really important to have a clear idea why you are applying for a loan even before you get the loan. Okay. So when we talk about use of loan proceeds, in other words, what are the permissible uses for a loan that you get through LendingTree? The thing is that LendingTree and its partners are really flexible in terms of how you can use the money, as long as you use the cash for a legit purpose and you are in a position where you can repay the loan. They're fine with it. Okay, so you can use the money for everyday operations. For instance, you can use the money for equipment or machinery, for tenants improvements. Tenants improvements is really important. So as a business owner, if you are moving into a commercial space that's essentially a shell, you will be most likely responsible for paying for all or part of the build out. So this is also known as tenants improvements, or TIs. Okay. And one thing I want to say here is that you can use the money to buy inventory. This is totally possible if you are approved. Inventory is a quintessential part of your business, so it's really important to have to use the money for inventory purposes. You can use the money to refinance debt if you're lucky enough to have a low APR through LendingTree. The reason why I'm just saying lucky enough is because on LendingTree you have a lot of alternative lenders, and historically, and I would say based on our research, their APRs tend to be a little higher. Okay, but here you have it. The funny thing is, you can even use the money to start a franchise, to acquire a business, for instance. So we're not just talking about expanding current operations. You can actually start a new operation from the get-go. Okay, you can use the money for startup costs. Yeah. Make sure that everything that you actually invest your cash in from the get-go, you can actually get a business loan from LendingTree, and apply that loan to your startup costs. You can expand an existing business. You can use the money to stay competitive. Yeah, if you are in an industry that is subject to cycles, to seasonalities, to a cyclicality, and you need money to stay competitive, a business loan from LendingTree can basically help you out. Okay, and you can use the money also for enhancements. It's totally possible. So you have a large constellation, a large catalog of uses you can apply for the business loan that you get through LendingTree's partners. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Boss, I'm still here. I want to talk to you about point number 6. Okay, so we are just talking about the $10 million LendingTree business loan. $10 million is the maximum loan amount. Okay, and I just put it there because I want you to dream a little bit and you might qualify for that. Who knows? Okay, now let's talk about applying. So the application process. So what we love with the application process through LendingTree is that it's very straightforward, it's very easy, it's very intuitive. Okay, very user friendly. So this is really great. LendingTree, kudos to you. My hat's off to you. And so you can actually begin the application process online. Okay, you don't have to you don't have to go to a branch. Everything happens online. And so you go through a series of questions, and so they ask you about your profitability, your time in business. They ask you for your business's classification. They ask you for your credit score. Okay, and at the end of the process, you will be prompted to give your contact information. So this is a prompt you will see at the end of the process, okay? And so once you submit all the relevant documents, LendingTree will ideally match you with up to 5 offers from its partners. Okay, so this is what it is. And so you'll start receiving emails, you start receiving calls, you start receiving notifications. Okay, and if you give them your cell phone number, you'll start receiving SMS and all that kind of stuff. So one thing we have seen is that in terms of the transparency on LendingTree, they still need to do some work on that. We're not really satisfied with what we have seen so far in terms of transparency, in terms of the advertising transparency, because they have no information about the APR, the loan amount, all that kind of stuff. So they could do a better job here. But their customer service is excellent. Even though they're pushy at times, they're trying to cross-sell you, oversell you, upsell you. But if you are a borrower and you have a question, they'll get back to you, not a problem. And they are available Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. through 9 p.m., Friday, 8 a.m. through 8 p.m., or Saturday, 10 a.m. through 7 p.m. And you can also submit an online ticket, okay? And if you prefer to interact with the company through social media, you can follow LendingTree on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. Okay, and what we love is that you can also check your FICO score through LendingTree or its affiliates. This is totally possible. And you want to check your credit score because you want to boost your chances of being approved with good APRs. Okay, and you want to check your credit score because then you can identify inaccurate or incomplete information, right? You can actually make sure that you can see what lenders may see. You can ensure that your accounts are reported properly. It's all about transparency. It's all about having a clear account, a clean account. Now I want to talk to you about exploring. So we talk about LendingTree. This is a $10 million business loan from LendingTree, which is fantastic if you were to ask me. But you want to explore. There are alternatives to LendingTree. So God forbid something happens, you don't get qualified, your ass is rejected. You actually they don't want you. No business lender want to see you. Okay, no problem. We're not here to panic anything. Okay, you can go to Lendio, for instance. So Lendio actually is also a marketplace. Okay, so they don't actually lend you directly. They lend through a partner, a network rather, of partners. So Lendio, the cool thing is Lendio is available in all states. They have a wide range of funding options, and they have positive ratings and reviews. Fantastic. You could also try Fundbox. So Fundbox also is really great, and with Fundbox, you can actually they use artificial intelligence-based lending criteria. Okay, so they look at your FICO, but also other things. And as an applicant, you may receive a decision in as few as 3 minutes. They have low minimum credit score requirements, and funding can happen as soon as the next business day. Fantastic. Next, you have Biz2Credit. So Biz2Credit is also one of the top rated online marketplaces out there. Okay, and we love the fact that they get back to you real quick. And you can also get loan amounts that go all the way to $6 million through Vista Credit. So this is really, really good. Next, you have National Business Capital, another great marketplace lender that we love. And they actually tilt slightly towards more established business owners and startups with good credit. Okay, here the loan amounts go from $10,000 to $5 million. Next, you have Go Capital. Now with Go Capital, they also the thing is they tend to focus on high risk industries. Okay, so if you are in an industry that has a high risk inherently, Go Capital could be the right lender for you. Okay, and they have several types of financing, and depending on the urgency of the funding program, you might want to go through Go Capital. That you have the loans in place there. Okay, and they just want you to have at least $10,000 to make $10,000 in revenue every month to qualify for the lending program. All right, boss. This is it for today's conversation. I was talking to you about the $10 million LendingTree business loan and the steps you need to take to actually get the loan that you need. First, understand what LendingTree is about. Get ready, be eligible, borrow the right amount, spend properly, apply, and explore. Thank you so much for your attention. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.